It is the most interactive professional wrestling discussion show on the internet. WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. This is In the Hot Seat with your host, Fortminorproject.
Alright, what's going on, guys, and welcome to this week's episode for In the Hot Seat. Of course, as always, got a great show lined up for you guys. And with this week, I have a brand new guest joining me at this time. And would you like to introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? This is Freshman from Beer Money 2K, and I think me and David here have tried to do Hot Seat for
A long
6
time.
months. We've never
Something like
been
that.
able to set up a time to do this. So,
Yeah.
sub to Beer Money 2K, of course, and I'm the Beer Money.
Alright, well, it's a pleasure to have you here finally on the show, and we got a great one. And I'm actually going to kick things off here with Rey Mysterio. Now, I know he's out with the injury right now, and what do you think we're going to expect next out of Rey Mysterio once he comes back 100%?
When Ray comes back next year, here's what I expect. I expect him to push more mid-card talent, like he's been doing since whenever. And that's what I expect him to do when he comes back. I expect, like, the Sin Cara feud to happen. That's the thing that I think everybody wants to happen the most.
Oh, yeah.
I know the heel Sin Cara feud is going on right now, which is actually being booked better than I expected. Because I think everybody thought that was going to be utter, crap, and it's not. But that's what I want Ray to do. I want him to push more talent, feud with Sin Cara, and then just keep wrestling for however long he wants to wrestle.
Yeah, and I would like to see that feud myself, and maybe even have like a fatal four-way with him, both Sin Cara's and Alberto Del Rio. That to me is one of the dream matches I would
really
like to see. Yeah,
that would be something I would save for WrestleMania. That would be neat. That would be really cool.
Yeah, would it have to be a championship or anything like that? Yeah,
just a fatal four-way.
Oh yeah. I think that would actually be a great opener for WrestleMania and have
I would agree. I think
kick
that
it
would
off
be
there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Opener.
And just to see how these guys can go, I'm sure they put on a good show. If it would be for stipulation, I guess it doesn't really need one, so it just
it could be just a feud, or they could put maybe a #1 contendership type deal on it or something. I mean, it would be cool to see, I would think.
Yeah, so I think that would be some sort of good dream match, at least to me, in my opinion. So definitely would like to see that. Alright, the next thing I got here is a response to Deluxe Man and Gold Standard, and which to you 10 stars that aren't being used right now in the WWE? 10
stars that aren't being used properly right now?
Yeah, and it could be Divas too if you want as well.
Wow. No, I don't have a list, so I'm just going to go off the top of my head.
Alright, that's fine.
I don't know if it'll be 10, but I'll name as many as I can.
Okay.
The first guy I'm going to name, I know some people are going to be like, wow. And the reason I'm going to say him is because I think he's being pushed too fast. Del Rio.
Okay.
He is not ready for that title. And the reason I say this, people, is because he wins this thing at SummerSlam, drops it to Cena the next pay-per-view, and in 2 weeks, him and Cena are going to have another regular match. Why, I have no idea. For the title again. And I'm not saying he's going to, not win at Vengeance, but, if Cena wins this thing again, I would not be shocked. I think it is, to me, very unfortunate that Del Rio was pushed to this main event status that he was last year and the early part of this year when I actually still liked Del Rio. And then when he started doing 40 million Destinies, I can't stand the guy anymore. But I think Del Rio is being used wrong right now. I think he should have gotten more time before he got pushed to the world title. Daniel Bryan, you guys know why. He's been nowhere to be found. He's been on NXT, which is a sinking ship of a show. I'm surprised it's still on, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's not even on TV anymore. It's on WWE.com, or I don't care. I've never watched the show. But to me, your Money in the Bank holder is not even on SmackDown. Wasn't on SmackDown this week, unless he was in the Battle Royal, which I've yet to watch SmackDown. I am going to watch it on YouTube in a little bit. But, I mean, Daniel Bryan's getting no TV time. He's the Money in the Bank holder. I mean, I know he's holding this thing to WrestleMania, or he's supposedly doing that. But Daniel Bryan's getting no push out of this stuff. So, I mean, Daniel Bryan, John Morrison. Nobody's mentioned Morrison for some reason. I mean, yes, he is still getting on Raws and stuff like that, but this guy went from, you know, Extreme Rules main event push this year to after injury, and I have read this stuff about Melina, and I think that is bullshit.
Yeah.
Melina is a bitch, and I mean that in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
The fact that she is trying to come back to the company and all this stuff, or whatever she's been doing, and Morrison's paying for it, that is not right. McIntyre, same thing. The man is paying for the sins of a woman who is not even around the business anymore.
Yeah.
I think that is some crap right there. McIntyre is another one. It took me a while to be a McIntyre fan, but I eventually got there. I think the highest point of McIntyre's career in terms of just wow was at Chamber this year. He was, you know, killing people, and then after that, no McIntyre's job. He's on Superstars. Just a bunch of crap, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Divas that are not getting used right, Natalya. I know she's in this storyline with Kelly and Beth, but she's, in my opinion, getting nothing out of it. I mean, yeah, she's getting heel heat, TV time, and all this, but in my opinion, she should be going for the Divas title and not Beth Phoenix.
Right.
Because Natalya, to me, is a better wrestler, better character, better gimmick than Beth Phoenix, and to me, she's getting the short end of the stick. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Who else? Santino, in my opinion, should be released. I know Gold Standard put him on his list. In my opinion, the guy sucks. I have never been a fan of him, funny or not. When he came in 07, they did the whole thing with him coming out of the crowd, which was a ripoff of Taylor Wilde and Awesome Kong, if anybody remembers that storyline.
No.
And you know, he was alright then as the Intercontinental Champion, and then he went into this whole god-awful, I say god-awful because it's, in my opinion, one of the worst gimmicks I've ever seen. This funny character, Cobra shit, and I'm like, just get released. You suck in the ring, get released. Ted DiBiase, I see nothing in the guy. I mean, I've heard everybody say potential, DiBiase posse, all this shit. I see nothing in the guy. He's a good wrestler, but other than that, I see no... He's not even a flash in the pan. He has no flash.
Yeah.
I mean, the entrance that he gave on Superstars last week, when he was coming out dancing and all this shit, it was the funniest entrance I've ever seen in professional wrestling. I'm not shitting you. It was awful. And DiBiase, to me, sucks as a face. And I don't know, DiBiase, to me, he's a mess. He needs to get taken off TV, either repackaged or released. He needs something. I mean, you know, people say he's the future of the company. I highly disagree. Cody Rhodes is making DiBiase look like a joke. So, that's, you know, my opinion. I don't know if I can think of anybody else. Those are the top people that come to mind.
Yeah, that's fine if you can think of those guys. You know, that's good in itself. You don't have to have, like, a top 10 or anything. But top 5 or something like that, that's fine. You know, I agree with some of the guys that you have on the list, including John Morrison. You know, hopefully he doesn't get released or anything like that. Like I mentioned before.
I know John is, you know, biting his fingers, waiting, you know, to see what happens at the end of this month. But, you know, whatever happens, happens. I really don't want Morrison to get released. I think the guy is going to be, you know, a Cody Rhodes breakout type star where he's going to be a face of the company in the next couple of years when Cena and Orton take a back seat, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I think it sucks. But hopefully he resigns. But if he doesn't, one hell of a career. The man's been in the business since 04, 03 with Eminem and tag team and Intercontinental titles and ECW titles and all the stuff he's done in between then. And just, you know, if that's the way his career's going to end, that sucks. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it's a shame too. Hopefully there'll be some sort of payoff and, you know, hopefully something will turn around.
If Jeff Hardy can get 40 chances, I mean, you know, Morrison can get a couple more.
Yeah. And with that, I don't really see him going to TNA or anything like that.
I know.
It just seems kind of weird to me.
And that's why I think TNA, if they aren't on a sinking ship, they're getting ready to get on one because of the Spike TV stuff. They might pull the plug on TNA, which I don't want them to do. I hate TNA. I hate some of the stuff they do, but I love the guys and I love the company because they have so much potential and they're just flushing it down the toilet. And it's so sad. It is so sad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I don't want TNA to die. I mean, I've said it before, but I really don't want that company to die. I I just
Yeah,
want
I
it to fix
understand.
itself. I mean, it's slowly getting there, but my goodness, it's going to take years to get it to be rebuilt. And Hogan and Bischoff are still there. And that just screams it's going to keep going down the path it's going now, which is not good. Not good. But we'll see what happens at Bound for Glory Sunday.
Yeah. Alright, getting into, well, still with the list, there are a couple other guys that I have here. I don't think some I've mentioned yet. With that being said, with JTG, he's kind of doing good right now. I know he's doing like a whole heel character on NXT, so I guess that's kind of going somewhere, but...
I was wondering what they were doing with him, because like I said, I don't watch NXT. He is one of those guys that has a big question mark beside, why are you still in the company?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's on house shows and jobbing and stuff, but I mean, like Yoshitatsu, for example. Whatever, I've not seen his gimmick yet, but I have heard things about it, and it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he went from that theme that is just, oh my god, that theme, but that theme is awful. And, you know, dancing and stuff on ECW to this darker-looking character that I think will be great for his career. I mean, the guy can wrestle. I've seen him wrestle. He's pretty good. But like Yoshitatsu is one of those guys, and I think he could be a good mid-carder. JTG, I don't know. I mean, can he have an R-Truth? I doubt it. I mean, R-Truth was like 1 in a million, in my opinion, because I mean, R-Truth has been the jobber, you know, what's up for like 4 years. And then, you know, all of a sudden the heel turn, and now he's, you know, Little Jimmy and the funny heel character. I don't know if JTG can have anything like that. If they turn him into like a thug, kind of gangster, kind of like New Jack ripoff, that might be good. But other than that, I see no reason for him to still have a contract with his company. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, to me, he should have had the tag team championships a long time ago when he was in the tag team at Crime Time. But it is what it is. They didn't really do anything with that. So, and if not, the next best thing for him would have been for the mid-card championship. But even then, he still hasn't really had any championships as of late, so, you know, it is what it is.
He's never won a title. He's never won a title.
Not one title, not even the tag titles.
Not one belt. I mean, Evan Bourne, to his credit, has at least, you know, won a tag title, which, you know, in my opinion, he should have been Intercontinental or U.S. champion long before then. But, and by the way, I hope Evan's doing okay. I read on WQ today that he had a stinger from Raw Monday, but the reporters saying that he's, you know, he's been wrestling this week in Mexico, so hopefully Evan's doing alright, because Jack Swagger freaking killed him. But you know, Evan's another guy that's being. I mean, he's not underutilized, but he needs another thing to him. He needs a little more added character to his gimmick, and Evan to me could be like a Dolph Ziggler in terms of just running roughshod over the mid card. He's that good.
Yeah, and I think Evan's doing pretty well for himself, and that's good that he's going to be still wrestling after that nasty fall. So. I was a little bit worried about that, so that's good to hear when it comes to Evan Bourne. Another guy that's also on this list, and that is Michael McGillicuddy. I know, you know, the only thing really good for him was, you know, the whole Nexus thing, and now he's not really doing too much, so maybe if they have some sort of, like, serious, I guess, kind of gimmick and kind of go where it's
I don't know what they would do with McGillicuddy, because in my opinion, the guy is nothing. In terms of, like, the talent department, in terms of, like, wrestling or character, I don't see anything in the guy. Same thing with Otunga. Him and Otunga, to me, are two, you know, worthless bags of shit, in my opinion. I mean, Otunga's doing this lawyer gimmick, which is just awful, in my opinion. And Otunga is just... McGillicuddy has nothing really either. I mean, and it's unfortunate because the Nexus thing was huge last year.
Oh yeah, it was really
and now it's just like flattened out to the point where like nobody's benefiting from it. But Gabriel and Wade Barrett. That's it.
Yeah, and after the Nexus, you know, those guys, you know, at least been doing something. I didn't really like how Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater were broken up as a tag team, and it was kind of in a way too early for them to do that. Of course, they're on this list too, so they could have been. You know, doing good things in the tag team division.
I think Gabriel, give him some time, will be top of the mid-card. Heath Slater, I do not like him, so I don't care what he does. But Justin Gabriel, he has got the wrestling, he's got the moves, he's got the look. He just needs a little bit more of a gimmick, and I think he'll have it. He's got everything in the bag, but just a little more gimmick to him, and he'll be something. I think he'll be top of the mid-card, hopefully. We'll see.
And also, another guy that I have on here is Trent Beretta. We haven't really seen too much of him. I know he's been mainly on Superstars, doing some good matches there, but other than that, not too much. You know, hopefully they'll get to do something with him because, you know, I think he's good talent and can work a good match.
One guy that they're pushing that I don't like is Mahal. Jinder Mahal. I have no idea why this guy is getting a push, period. Me and John have never liked this guy. When he first came in with Kali, which, you know, if anything's attached to Kali, it must suck. This guy is not getting the ring. His gimmick is overdone. And to me, that's another thing in professional wrestling that I think they need to try to get away from. The overdone gimmicks.
Right.
And I'll give you two examples. The anti-American gimmick and the anti-boss. Those are two gimmicks that they need to try and stop in WWE. Not saying wrestling, WWE. Because the maniacal boss thing they've been doing for 15 years or more. The anti-American thing has been going on since the 80s. That's nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
They need to change, either like tone it down or get rid of it. And that's why I liked, you know, speaking of Triple H, go pick up the new edition of WWE Magazine. I got it the other day. Great interview by Triple H, great magazine. I like Triple H because he wasn't the, you know, maniacal boss. He was the face. Now, there's one thing about Triple H I did not like was the line he gave on Monday about the broom.
Yeah.
That when he buried the whole locker room, which I was like, oh god, you know, I can wrestle. You know, a broom is better than half of them guys. I was like, oh no, you just buried like the entire company.
Yeah.
I love Triple H, but that was just bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why I like Triple H as a boss. And then when they, you know, announced, you know, chain smoking relations, you know, John Laryngitis, it was just enough with the bosses who were, you know, for the heels. I mean, I'm just kind of tired of it. And like the anti-American thing, it's dead. It's dead. You know, 9/11 is, you know, happened and gone, and they tried it with Hassan, and I think they just need to get away from the USA and those kind of gimmicks. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, and with that type of thing, it only works for certain kind of guys. So in the beginning, I did like Jinder Mahal, but you know, as of late, they don't seem to know what they're going to be doing with him.
They jobs to Santino in less than a minute. I mean, like,
that's pretty bad. Yeah.
You job to Santino, you might as well flush your career down the toilet in that company because it's just like. But you know, I mean, maybe Mahal will be something, but I highly doubt it. To me, he looks like he's going to be not longevity in this company. But we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, unless they can find something else to do for him, then maybe then some things might turn out to be good for him. But we'll have to wait and see where that goes.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But that's basically it when it comes to that video response. So you guys basically, you know, get the point with that. So guys, definitely leave your top 10 wrestlers who you think that are not being used. And getting into the next thing, and we saw this at Hell in a Cell, and with Cody Rhodes bringing back the Old School Championship. And what other Old School Championships would you like to see come back? Besides
WWE title, without a doubt. I have been wanting that thing changed for at least 3 years. Me and John were talking about this last night, actually, or the other day. About, you know, pushing Cody Rhodes to the WWE title and doing the same thing with the WWE title, making that the Classic Championship, or changing it.
Yeah.
You know, either change it back to the Undisputed title or the Classic Wing from the 90s, which Stone Cold The Rock, you guys know that belt.
Yeah.
One of those, or completely make another title. But the spinner thing is just so not good because it's Cena. And that's the thing that I think that the WWE title should not be. It should not be catered to one guy for so long. It worked with Stone Cold. Because if you noticed, Stone Cold only held that title when he had it. What I'm saying, like when he was WWE champion, Smoking Skull. When it was another guy, it was the other title. I think WWE should do that. They should not have guys like Del Rio and Edge and Randy Orton and Triple H, countless other people who've won that title. It's a spinner belt. I mean, I know it doesn't spin anymore. But to me, it's a joke of a title. It says champ on the front of it. It doesn't even say champion. It says champ. It's a joke of a belt. It's a joke. It's a blinged up piece of shit. They need to change it. I mean, to me, if you want to take a belt seriously, it has to look serious and not, you know, bling or whatever the fuck that gay shit is. It's just, I think they need to change the WWE title. I mean, all the other titles keep Divas title, no problem. Mid-card titles, no problem. World title, never fucking change that. WWE title needs to be changed. Other than that, the rest of them you can keep how they are.
Yeah.
Tag titles. Tag titles are pretty bland. Maybe spice them up a little. But other than that, everything else is fine.
Yeah, and I thought they were actually gonna somehow change the championship this year, but I guess they didn't.
Yeah,
decide
that's what I was
to do
thinking
that,
too with the tournament, but nope.
Yeah, but maybe we'll get a change from the championship. Sometime down the road, we'll have to wait and see.
I hope so.
But if they can bring back, like the older championship, like the Undisputed Championship too, that would have been pretty cool to see come back as well. That's definitely one of my favorite old school championship belts.
In my opinion, when they did the two title thing at SummerSlam, they should have brought that belt back.
Oh yeah.
Or done something like not just Del Rio wins, he's now just the same title. They should have made it a bigger deal,
right?
In my opinion, and changed the titles. But anyway, SummerSlam's a great show, by the way.
Yeah, it was. And
they should have done something.
Yeah. And getting back into the championships, going back to the Divas Championship, it's alright. I didn't really like how they really.
I actually became a fan of it more as the years go on. When they first debuted the thing in 08 or 09 or whatever the hell the title was, put it in circulation, I wasn't that big of a fan of it. And now that I have grown on as a wrestling fan, the Divas title to me I like more in terms of the look, because to me it fits more than the women's title. I mean, I know the women's title is one of the most prestigious belts in wrestling and all that stuff, but to me, I mean, you got to change somewhere over time. And to me, the Divas title is a good change. I mean, to me, it doesn't look like a joke anymore. I mean, if anything looked like a joke in terms of a title, it would be Jeff Hardy's belt from TNA. I mean, the Divas title looks more credible than that thing did. But I like the Divas title now. To me, it's a fitting title. I have no problems with it. Yeah.
Well, it's alright, but, to me, I think the Women's Championship had definitely more to it than the Divas Championship.
I agree. The Women's title is more prestigious than the Divas title, but I'm saying the look of the Divas title I like a little more than the Women's title. But I love both belts. Women's title is great, and so is Divas title. I like both.
Yeah, it took a while to get used to it.
It's been around for so long. I mean, wrestling fans, if they don't like it, that's cool. But I like the Divas title. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, just how they ended it with the whole split of the championship. I didn't really care for that. But if they can at least, bring it back once in a while or something like that, I think that would be pretty cool to have brought back. Another championship that I would like to see come back with the old school tag team championships. Get rid of the ones that they had there.
I would love to see. I'm more of a fan of the SmackDown tag team titles.
Yeah, those are good, and also the ones before that too.
To be brought back as the tag titles.
Yeah.
I like those way more than the Raw ones. The SmackDown ones to me kicked ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The tag titles are just—they look like somebody took a bronze piece of metal and stuck it on a belt.
Yeah.
And called it a tag. It looks like it was no work done to them. But
Yeah, those belts and the ones before the brand split tag team championship belts, I think those were good too, like the old classic ones. I think
the
those
ones
were
from the 90s and the 80s. Yeah, those were great tag titles.
Yeah, I think they should definitely be brought back at least once in a while, something like that. Same thing that what they're doing for the Intercontinental Championship. So those are just some of the championships that I would like to see come back. With that being said, so that's actually basically it with all the topics. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we end the show here?
No, I think we're good.
Alright, so that's about it for all the topics and all we have for In the Hot Seat for this week, guys. Definitely comment on what we talked about. Feel free to leave a video response. Go check out BMRD2K. And I thank you for coming in finally for In the Hot Seat for this week. And as always, I will talk to you guys later on. Peace.
Thanks for